Hey, ho, ho, everybody. Welcome to the program. We are here. We are live. I hope you're having a great day. I'm having a great day. I hope you are having a fabulous Titanic day. In fact, Titanic, Wednesday, not Tuesday, Wednesday. Uh, Happy sailings. Happy trails. How are you? How are things? Um, Gilbert Godfrey died. That's kind of sad. I loved Gilbert Godfrey. Um, I thought he was hilarious. I honestly thought Gilbert Godfrey was a genius. I thought he was a damn genius, an underrated genius, and um, it's unfortunate that he's gone. It sucks. It is typical of 2022 that we lose Gilbert Gottfried. The good news is New York subway disaster. Nobody died. So I guess that's a win. Are we calling it a win? I guess you can say, okay, we have a win there. Um, I am trying to find a way to be slightly comfortable and talking to the microphone now that we hooked up the microphone. And I had some more dental work done. I figured out that the molding that I had was too big and it was causing me issues. It was really hard to talk and it was really uncomfortable. So I went back last night, story time. I went back last night and I said, Tom, we got to fix this. We're not giving up on something that works. And it works 90% of the way. So I did some work on my dentures that I have and I got them pretty 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 perfect. I must say. For a novice, a guy who is completely afraid of the dentist, to be able to do this and make them look good and sound good. Like I don't even have a lisp anymore. It's that great, and I don't feel awkward anymore, which is also a wonderful thing. So, welcome everybody. I hope you are having a good day. I hope you can hear me okay with the mic. Hi, Jim, our chat room moderator. Uh, Jim, if you can stay after the show, I am going to get the moderation thing working today for you. If you could do that for me, that would be great. So, what's happening in the news? You may have heard on everywhere, CNN and Fox News and MSNBC and New York Post and uh, Tara Devlin show. Everywhere. There was a shooting. There was another act of violence, and let's call it terrorism. Uh, Even though they haven't gone to the terrorism level yet, let's call it terrorism. Let's call it what. Let's call it what it is. It is terrorism. What this guy did. Now, we know there's a person of interest, and everybody's saying in the media, ready to paint him guilty. I'm not going to go there yet. What I'm going to talk about today, and we're going to talk about Joe Biden and inflation, but I decided to get this New York state of mind story out of the way. You shouldn't be afraid of riding the subway. You shouldn't be afraid of uh, walking the street in New York. You should carry on. Like grown individuals who uh, love this city, love America, find a way to get through it. They go and they deal with their issue, and maybe yes, anxiety is involved, but they deal with their issue and they figure out there's a way to deal with it. The right wing has decided that instantly, and the media, the corporatist media, has instantly decided, including me, that this is terrorism. Well, terrorism comes in different forms. I've always come under the conclusion you have smoke, gassy, filled subway car and shooting, you might be a terrorist. If you have a hatchet, you might be a terrorist. Um, you may have batshit crazy motives, and you may um, even think you're in the right, but you're still a terrorist. But when you're in law enforcement, you gotta walk a fine line. You have to not give away the farm when you are talking and dealing with the public about, excuse me, something that is happening in real time. You have to be able to be knowledgeable and be honest when you don't have all the facts. And in real time, when there is a situation going on, the chief, let me turn my phone off. That would be smart. The chief of police for Brooklyn is not going to give you, the media, your clickbait answer. The media is not going to get the clickbait answer they want, which is terrorism. It was terrorism. Now, the right want to paint it as angry black man, crazy, so do, to an extent, the capitalist, corporatist media. But they want to go after angry black man, as they do. After other angry black men, as they do. Because he apparently had, and this is alleged, he apparently had rantings about Eric Adams, who's mayor of New York City, and uh, something about women. It's just bizarre. You know, this guy is a character. If he is the shooter, he could, look, he could be a witness. He could be the best witness we have. You can't just say, terrorist, shooter, did it. He could be, I don't know about you, but I would be not very emotionally stable if all the media basically accused me of being a terrorist and had a manhunt with a $50,000 reward on my head. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be so forthcoming considering how police treat black people in America. George Floyd ring a bell? I mean, what do you think? What do you think the outcome of this trial is going to be when it happens? How do you think the right and the corporatist media is going to paint this guy? Now, I'm not saying he's guilty. We don't know. Again, could be the best damn witness New York City has. Person of interest. Person of interest means they want to question the person involved in dealing with the situation at hand. Person of interest does not mean terrorist. Get him. Gotta get him. Go get him. Right now. So, the this goes back to this stupid question. Well, no, obviously, clickbait question by the reporter to the let's see, Kitchen uh Cantwell is the Brooklyn um person who handles she's the chief, and she's not gonna she's not gonna budge, and I like that. I don't want you handing over all your cards to the media, no matter how they ask, nicely or otherwise. So I'm not ruling out anything, she says. We're going to find out the information and we're going to go from there. That is a reasonable response. See, the media wants to jump to conclusions to sell stories. The media's ulterior motive in capitalism is to get your attention and draw you in and sell the story. The police officer is going to be, I'm not going to play that game. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do the dance you want me to go with to your song, because it's not a game. It's still an active situation. Until this person is caught, this is an active situation. So why would, no matter how good the question or how hard they ask, why would the media get the answer they're looking for during an active, ongoing investigation when they're trying to catch the guy? They are trying to catch this guy. Frank, whatever his name is. They're trying to get him into custody. Why would they give away the the farm? Why would they do that? For clickbait? To play gotcha with the media? Let's think about this for a second. Seriously. Thinking about this for a second seriously, you understand automatically, in principle, that you are going to, oh, I don't know, fundamentally want to, let's see, um, be safe and be assured that you're not going to get yourself um, murdered in this situation with the police. I would think. Um, I'm just saying. It just makes sense to me that we would want to. And by the way, I hooked it up so anybody leaving a comment in the comment section will now get a um that's weird. I got my first I got spam. I got spammed. That's always fun. Um so we'll see how that goes. Um we have the comment section up for the FY Nation live chat for my um homepage because the other program does not do it the way it's supposed to. So that's all hooked up and rearing to go. But I don't think that the media should be giving out information that is going to cause more harm than good. Just a thought. And I especially don't think uh, police chiefs to score points with the media should be aiding and abetting them in their aim for what, the next Nobel Prize in journalism. Is that what they're aiming for? No, they're aiming to sell more papers. They're aiming for clickbait. They're aiming to get the next story. They're not actually doing news anymore. And that's a problem. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back after this. Yes, we will. The Nosy Liberal, my name is Tom Reynolds.
Visit climateconnections.org.
Hey, ho, ho. Sorry for those on the stream. The break was muted. Thanks, Jim. Um, oops. Um, trying to fix everything all at once, and I muted my own. At least I didn't mute myself. At least I wasn't muted for 20 minutes. That would have really annoyed me. But Jim would have told me had I muted myself because Jim's a cool guy, and I like Jim. We like Jim, and Jim's going to be a moderator, and you know, Jim spreads the wealth to the liberal causes um, as best he can, and that's all we need. We need more. We need more people like Jim, is what I'm saying. So Biden inflation. What can Biden? Because Biden inflation is not Joe Biden's fault. It's not his fault. Simple as that. Joe Biden inflation is not Joe Biden's fault. There are a lot of things that go into inflation, and I'm no economist or professor, and it would be nice if I had someone smarter than me on the subject to be able to wax philosophical about what we can do um, to do something other than blame Joe Manchin. Or, oh, wrong sir. Wrong Joe. Joe Biden. Instead of blaming Joe Biden, I think it's time we look at the fact that we have, I don't know, a party in power that is not able to do everything the party in power wants to do. See, the Democratic Party is being cock blocked by someone, and his name is Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin is cock blocking the initiatives of this president. And Joe Manchin is coming out, and Joe Manchin is saying, well, it's about time the president of the United States did something about inflation. It's a high time he did something. Um and why didn't he see this coming? Why didn't he do more? Because the Labor Department released data on Tuesday that inflation had increased 8.5% over the past 12 months. So Joe Manchin, Mr. Cockblock himself, is saying to Joe Biden, um, you failed to act fast enough. And this is the consequences. What other than raise interest rates, which the Federal Reserve can do, what can Joe Biden do? Um, he added, instead of acting boldly, our elected leaders in the Federal Reserve continue to respond with half measures and rhetorical failures, searching for where to lay the blame. Dude, you are laying blame. Joe Manchin, you are laying blame. The American people deserve the truth about why record inflation is happening and what must be done to control it. Well, we're not going to get the truth from you, Joe. You're not going to give us the truth. Joe Manchin is not going to give us the damn truth. He's not going to give us the truth about inflation. It's that simple. Joe Manchin, no truthiness when it comes to inflation. Or anything. Because he is one step away from being an oligarch like his daughter. Whatever the hell her name is. Don't really care. It doesn't matter. He is the problem. Joe Manchin cock blocked Build Back Better. Joe Manchin cock blocked voting rights. Joe Manchin would cock block anything to get the economy going. Like if Joe Biden said right now, and this is Tara Devlin's idea. Great idea, by the way. Absolutely fabulous idea. And you have nobody talking about it. We're going to give every American an inflation crisis check. We're in an inflationary mood. We want you to spend it. We want you to save it. We want you to help the economy. We want you to have $1,000. Joe Manchin would say, no, deficit, no, can't do that, can't do that. That would be too bad for you, son. No, Joe Manchin is the problem. Moderate Democrats who won't get out of the way of the president But expect us to all be blue no matter who later on are the problem. Is at fault. Joe Biden is not to blame for inflation. Joe Biden is not to blame for high gas prices. It's as simple as that. It really is. The Fed did not do its job and respond quickly enough. Now, true, Joe Biden could have been more like Donald Trump, but he's never going to be that way because it's not his nature. He's Uncle Joe. But he could use the bully pulpit to say, come on, man. Come on, inflation is coming. We need to beat this back with a bat. He could be a cheerleader for the Fed to do its job, to motivate, instead of, oh, I don't know, slap around. He could do these things. And it could be possible. It's not a thing where it's improbable. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not that I graduated high school. When I say I'm not that bright, I'm not demeaning myself. I'm saying I'm a high school graduate. That's it. I didn't go to college. And here I am, figuring this shit out. So, it is what it is. We're going to take a quick break. This break will work. Hot and heavy today. Lots to talk about. Joe Manchin is the problem, not Joe Biden. Remember that, folks. Remember
that. Insight Daily Radio. Author, humorist, and radio personality Garrison Keillor has been a fixture in popular culture since the 1970s, with more than 30 best-selling books and his Prairie Home Companion radio program. And he has a new book entitled Boomtown, a Lake Wobegon novel. We caught up with Garrison to chat about his new book and the creative journey that continues to bring Lake Wobegon to life.
In the course of doing the radio show, I didn't want to simply be the MC and say, please won't you welcome Leo Kottke. I wanted to have something to do myself, and so I decided I would tell stories and invent a town called Lake Wobegon, and I would populate it with some of the people I grew up with and my relatives, changing their names to protect the innocent. So I came back to it, my childhood, as a practical matter to give myself material. I exploited my childhood, I would say, rather than come to appreciate it. I mean, I'm grateful for it now. Now I look back and I see that without it, I would have been lost up a creek. Instead, I was beside a lake.
That's author and humorist Garrison Keillor, whose new book, Boomtown, a Lake Wobegon novel, has just been released and is now available wherever books are sold. Insight Daily.
Hey, ho, ho. So Joe Biden is not the problem. Joe Biden is not at fault here. Joe Biden is a cheerleader. But everybody wants to blame Joe Biden for stubbing their toe and everything else, and think that it can not be solved by some things happening with Congress. Congress is at fault. Congress needs to kick Joe Manchin in the balls and really, really go after it. Get to it. And it would be so nice if they did. Um, I have this. Where is it? Let's see if I still have it here. Do I still have it? Did I delete it? Um, I do not. I'm looking for. I guess I don't have the. Let me see if I can bring the graphic up. Hold on a sec. Let's let's do something here. Let's see if we can bring the graphic up. I gotta find the graphic to bring it up. Um, there is a graphic here that I am looking for inflation, and it is an awesome little Fox News graphic that is just wonderful. Just bear with me. We'll talk it through, and I'll sing, which I shouldn't do. Talk about losing podcast people. Is Tom sing? Can you sing? No, Tom cannot sing. Tom should not be allowed to sing. Just as Tom cannot find the graphic, it is what it is. Oh well. One of these days, I'm going to get everything organized. In fact, that's today's project. Today's project after the show, and it probably won't happen because I got 50 million things to do, but is to organize all my video. Oh, and FYI reports is going to be coming to the 8 o'clock hour in some form. I'm not sure yet. Um, I honestly haven't decided yet. I really want to do FYI reports. It's motivation, man. I have somebody. We just got to work it out, and it's really a matter of getting everything in the right order to do it all right, and so it's not funky. Because we don't want things funky, do we? No, we can't have it funky. So there's that. Everybody like my hair? Those watching? Nobody's commented. It must be me. It's me. We will be here on Good Friday. We will have a show on Good Friday. So keep that in mind. And right now we are replaying this first hour of the program on the 3 o'clock hour and the 8 o'clock hour of the show until I can figure out what I'm going to do with the 8 o'clock hour. I'm trying to figure it out, and it's not working the way I want it to work. So there's that. Because I have a vision for a show, um, but I don't want to be the centerpiece of it, right? I think we need new talent. I think we need new people, and I think it is better that way. Though I can do it, I don't want to be the writer. I don't want to be the producer. I don't want to be the everything, the moderator. Blah 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 blah. I don't want to do that. I just have no interest in being that guy. So you know, if I can find a place where I am comfortable doing it, we'll just set it up so uh we bring you the news. And I want it to be a weekend update style program. And I think we can get there. It's just a matter of time. It is what it is. We'll get there. We'll figure it out. I think um May we will have something. In fact, I can guarantee you that by May 20 or April 25th, I will have something in lieu of a show, probably actually April 18th. I think I'm going to come back from the holiday and start working on this program. I think that's what we're going to do. FYI, I got a website for it, for Pete's sake. I bought an additional website. So, got to use the website for FYI reports. Um, I think we can make it. Muster it up, Mister. Um, it's just a matter of time. I don't know what it is. And we're going to talk about more stories. I got plenty of more stories. Believe me, I got plenty of more stories. I'm just kind of in a talking to you kind of mood today. And it's like I want to have a little bit of a conversation with my friends. And it's nice that we get to do this every day. And that I'm in a spot where I can bring you news and information and my rantings on a daily basis. And you guys showing up is really all the participation you need to do. I mean, if you want to go the extra mile, like commenting or, I don't know, anything, be my guest. That's always awesome for you to do if you want to do that. So, I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying, what am I saying? I'm saying I love doing this show. I love having the morning to talk with you. And I love being able to chit chat. And I think we're going to do great things, even if the scumbag Republicans are elected. They're going to do great things. I think that this station, this network, is going to have an awakening, and I think we're gonna do really well. And my personal goal is to get enough subscribers for Tara Devlin to have her be able to do a show every night. That's what I would love to see. I would love to see. I watched last night. I was in the chat room with all the good friends, River and Will and Jim and all the good people over at Terry Buster. And she does a great show. I just wish it was every day. I would like to have therapy for the visit. See, I'm a needy person and I need you guys every day. Like, I love doing the show. When I'm not doing the show, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do for the show. And will I have enough time to cover this, that, and the other thing? And will I be able to rant about this or rave about this or get a little shrill about this? And now that we have me not fearing being on video, like the transformation to not fear doing it live on video is amazing. I don't know if you've noticed it, but I'm literally staring right at the camera and talking directly to you. Something I could never do before. And it is so healthy. And I don't know about you, but I don't hear a lisp except every once in a while from the new digs, as it were. You know, I can't. This is a very look. I'll be. Am I 44 or 45? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm old. It'll be 20 years since I've had any amount of self-confidence like this. And by God, I'm going to share it with you because I think you guys are awesome, and it makes me want to do a better show, and it makes me want to get things going. And I just need to be consistent about it. Is where we're at. We need consistency with the show, and I feel like really a transformation is the right word. It's no bull. I feel as if we have gone through the darkness, come out to the light, and now we have a message that is something that we can bring to the American people about how people like Joe Manchin and Tucker Carlson are getting in the way of progress, and how we need to stop the corporatocracy from completely ruining this country, aided and embedded by the Republicans. I think that we can make the Republicans nervous, the Trumpanzees nervous. And the only thing you have to worry about when doing that is like a caged animal, they lash out. So they're gonna lash out, they're gonna come after me, they're gonna come after you. And you just need to be ready for that. You just need to understand that, look, it's the price we pay for freedom. The price we pay for freedom is not always easy, right? Like, look, I wanted to join the military. I wanted to be in the Navy. My heart condition, which I have a defibrillator for, thank you, Affordable Care Act, I was not able to basically get that. So I didn't get to serve. But I'm patriotic as the next person. And in fact, I understand where like that little trigger that Republicans have when you talk about CRT and why they feel like the self-conscious need to like freak out on you. But see, I don't do it because I'm racist or don't want to actually have the conversation. I do it because I know this country can be better. Like, my freak out is, what the fuck did we do so bad to screw up that we can't fix it? That we can't make improvements on the Affordable Care Act? That we can't, I don't know, let's see, get rid of the continual problem of big oil? Just get rid of it. I mean, the auto show started today in New York City. And it has tons and tons of electric vehicles. Tons and tons. Pete Buttigieg should be there. In fact, the whole administration should be there. Transportation and health and economy and blah 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 blah. The whole goddamn Joe Biden administration should be in New York City right now, saying, you want to stop high gas prices and never deal with them again? Let's get more cars like these out on the market. Let's give better incentives to Americans to get vehicles out. Like, I saw a Chevy SUV commercial and I was so thrilled on my TV the other day. Corporate media had a EV commercial for a Chevy. I was like, yeah. I'm sorry, that turns me on. We want to stop inflation and high gas prices and all the things the Republican Party whines about when they're not talking about doing cocaine bumps and sexual orgies. I don't know. Let's get rid of big oil. Because here's why. You thought that there was no point to this rant. Oh, but my friends, there is. There is always a point. We may take the long road to where we're going, but we always get there. We always get there. Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner. Ivanka's boy toy. He is, well, he should be in the news a little bit more. He should be in the news a lot more. He should be in the news the way, let's see. I don't know. Hunter Biden is in the news. But instead, it's a little bit of a blip on the radar. And it's not that big a deal. It would be nice. It would be really nice if we saw the full scale. And we're not going to take this right. Just the music. I hope I fixed the sound issue with the music. You can let me know, Jim. This is actually, we're going to take a quick break. I got to fix it. That reminds me. So after this, we'll be right back, and then Jared fixes rant. Because yeah. We'll be right back.
I'm Rick Smith, and this is Labor History in 2. On this day in labor history, the year was 1873. That was the day the single most deadly incident of the Reconstruction era occurred, known as the Colfax Massacre. As many as 150 black Republicans in Colfax, Louisiana, were slaughtered by white supremacists determined to destroy advances made by the formerly enslaved. Results of the 1872 gubernatorial election in Louisiana had been hotly contested. President Ulysses S. Grant ordered federal troops in to support the Republican winner, William Pitt Kellogg. A number of black radical Republicans had also won or retained local and state political positions. William Ward, a black Civil War veteran and militia leader, had won a seat in the state legislature. By the beginning of April, he and others were being threatened with attacks on the Grant Parish Courthouse in Colfax and lynchings by defeated white Southern Democrats. Desperate for backup, Ward and others left for New Orleans to appeal for federal reinforcement. On the holy Easter Sunday, ex-Confederates, Klansmen, and Democrats rode into Colfax armed with guns, rifles, knives, and a cannon. 150 black Republicans were ready to defend their courthouse. Fighting raged on for hours, but eventually black Republicans were forced to retreat and then were massacred. 97 whites were indicted on federal conspiracy charges under the 1870 Enforcement Act, designed to enforce civil rights and root out Klan terror. The case went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court and resulted in the ruling United States versus Cruikshank, which essentially gutted the Enforcement Act. Of the 97 indicted, 9 were tried and 3 were initially found guilty. The Cruikshank ruling eventually overturned their convictions and effectively marked the legal end of Reconstruction. Like what you hear? Check out more at laborhistoryin2.com.
Read diverse, read indie on Insight Daily Radio. Conversations with today's most influential authors from the world of independent publishing. Denise Lajmadier is a Native American author, and her latest book is entitled His Feathers Were Chains, an award-winning poetry collection addressing trauma, love, grief, and enduring hope. While the premise of the collection is overt criticism of settler society, the poetry within is subtle, approachable, and grounded in Ojibwe knowledge and customs. We spoke with her about this most interesting book.
I want my poems to be very readable, because you hear about so many people saying, I hate poetry. I hated it in school because they had to scan it and they had to do all kinds of work. They had to try to interpret it. It hurts their brains. And so they don't like poetry. So I wanted my poems to be very readable to anyone out there, especially, as a Native writer too, with my writing group for all non-Native women. I would run my poems by them because I wanted my poems to be able to be read by general audience, not just by Native people. So I wanted non-Native people to be able to relate to my poems and have them understandable. So they're not opaque. You don't have to dig for any deeper meaning, anything like that. They're pretty clear. Like I said, they're narrative poems. Some are prose poems, so they're very readable. And I think that's important for people so they can enjoy poetry.
That's author Denise Lajmadier on her latest collection of poetry, His Feathers Were Chains, published by North Dakota State University Press.
Hello. Sorry about the weird technical break. A little bit longer than usual. Didn't want to quite have it happen that way. Jim, you are officially a moderator. So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, welcome. I made that addition to the chat. Jim is our moderator, and we'll deal with any bots or trolls as they come in, and go from there. Jared Kushner, that's where we're at. We're at Jared Kushner. I'm gonna go in next hour with this. This is a little bit. We got a lot to talk about with this story. This is not anything just around the bend here. But Jared Kushner, is doing pretty good. Dealing with Donald Trump. So the state-owned Sovereign Wealth Fund of Saudi Arabia, gave Jared Kushner, his private equity firm, $2 billion. A report claimed on Sunday. Where's the investigation, Democrats? Democrats, be all over this. Be all over this. The investigation into Jared Kushner, and it doesn't have to be anything wrong. It could be totally fine. But we need to know, excuse me, as you do, what kind of influence peddling Jared Kushner is doing for the Saudi government. How far does this go? Does this go to Donald Trump? Has the Orange Wall been breached? Has the menace that drives me insane been compromised? We need to know these things. Democrats, on it now. Democrats, investigate Jared Kushner. Don't give me this, oh, well, we're better than that bullshit. Bullshit. Donald Trump can be compromised by the damn Russians. And he can easily be compromised by a Saudi billionaire, giving his son-in-law an equity firm $2 billion. Investigate it. This should be an open investigation. The Democratic Party should have hearings with the Oversight Committee. What did they know? When they didn't know it? Did Donald Trump's influence happen to help this along in any way? Because this happened 6 months after. Were they planning to do this even if Donald Trump got reelected president of the United States? Was this a payoff for sweet deals? We need to know these things. We need to know. It is that simple. We need to have an understanding. If Donald Trump is beholden to the Saudi royal prince, if Donald Trump is now the prince's bitch, because Jared Kushner got $2 billion, even the Daily Mail, where I got this story from, is reporting it. This should be on every newscast. If we had a legitimate left-wing outlet, breaking news, Donald Trump compromised. Donald Trump compromised by Saudi royals, big oil. That would be the breaking news. Because we don't know what the Saudi prince's plans are. 6 months after the Trump administration, this new report claims, Kushner was a senior White House advisor. The president gave him access to all these intelligence briefings, even though Jared Kushner did not qualify to get them under the proper investigations. Remember that? So here's a guy who doesn't qualify. And here's a guy who is doing wrong. But because he doesn't have a crack pipe and he's a Republican, he's going to get away scot-free. There are not going to be any gigantic calls for the Oversight Committee to oversee what type of sweet deals Donald Trump was doing for, I don't know, stuffing the Iran deal. Could that have been influenced? Could that have been a thank you payment from the Saudi prince? Because they don't like Iran. So Donald Trump whistling Dixie to the Saudi El Sabab, whatever the fuck his name is. Don't really care. We should have investigations. That's simple. We'll be right back after the news report. Stay tuned. Investigate. It's about time the Democrats did their job.
It's Tuesday, April 12, 2022.
Methane increased a record amount for the second year in a row.
NOAA reports a disturbing increase in climate warming methane.
Americans buying and will spend less on gas than they have.
Biden administration and trucks and to
drinking air and living lungs.
Microplastic pollution now found in humans too.
Everything is awesome. All of those stories and more straight ahead. From BradBlog.com, I'm Brad Friedman.
And I'm Desi Doyen.
Stand by for 6 minutes of independent green news, politics, analysis, and snarky comment.
Scientists have found microplastics in people's blood for the first time. So note to self, when disposing of large amounts of blood, remember to separate it into the right bins.
Helpful advice. This is your Green News Report. News in today's Green News Report.
Well, there's a little bit, so wait for it.
Oh, I'm waiting.
First up, global atmospheric levels of the extremely potent climate warming gas methane increased by a record amount in 2021. That's according to NOAA, and it increased for the second year in a row. Methane matters because it is a big contributor to man-made climate change. It's about 25 times more powerful at trapping heat than carbon dioxide on short time scales. NOAA scientists speculate that the spike may be from nature. Wetlands contain decaying organic matter, which releases methane, but more intense downpours, turbocharged by global warming, can accelerate that release. That concerns researchers because it could signal a potential feedback loop of a naturally driven cycle that gets worse as the climate warms.
And there's nothing we can do about that. The climate warms, it releases more methane, and it makes everything warmer still.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
However, studies do show that cuts to human-driven methane emissions from the fossil fuel and agriculture industries would have big benefits, reducing near-term global warming. NOAA's announcement came just days after UN scientists warned world governments are not acting fast enough to cut emissions to avoid dangerous climate impacts.
So that's not the good news, right?
Nope. In energy geopolitics, Japan has joined the EU and the US to target Russia's energy sector for the first time. Japan will ban Russian coal imports that fund Russia's war in Ukraine. But like several EU countries, Japan has resisted calls from Ukraine to ban Russian oil and gas altogether. As environmental journalist Peter Sinclair of Climate Crocs notes, quote, "No one fights over sunlight and wind. As long as we are dependent on fossil fuels, autocrats like Vladimir Putin will lust for oil fields like those in eastern Ukraine and use fossil gas as a weapon against democracy."
Good point.
In other news, plastic pollution is pervasive around the entire planet, from the top of Mount Everest to the deepest oceans, and now in people.
That is definitely not the good news.
First, a small study in the Netherlands found tiny pieces of microplastics in the blood of nearly 80% of the people tested, demonstrating that the particles can travel around the body and may lodge in organs.
Good God.
A second study found microplastics deep in the lungs of living people for the first time. The scientists said more research is needed to understand the health consequences of microplastics found in humans, but they are concerned because laboratory studies have shown microplastics can cause damage to human cells. But here's the good news.
Okay.
The Biden Department of Transportation has reversed a Trump rollback of fuel efficiency standards for cars, minivans, SUVs, and pickup trucks. The new standards ratchet up so that by 2026, new vehicles sold in the United States will average 49 miles per gallon, saving consumers billions in fuel costs.
That is if those standards are allowed to move forward in 2026 by President Trump.
In Boston,
Shook you up a little, did I?
In Boston, Democratic Mayor Michelle Wu, the first woman and the first person of color to serve in that city's top office, announced that Boston will shift its entire fleet to non-polluting all-electric vehicles, starting with school buses, to cut the city's emissions and its air pollution.
There's some good news.
This will be a big step forward in making sure that we are delivering the clean air, public health, opportunity, the right start and end to your day coming to and from the Boston Public Schools.
Very nice. Are they going to add seatbelts to the school buses while they're at it?
Good question.
Thank you.
And finally, the Los Angeles City Council has voted unanimously to electrify the city's entire fleet of more than 10,000 vehicles as part of its plan to become the first U.S. city to rely on zero carbon energy by 2035. The plan includes creating jobs by greatly expanding the city's EV charging network.
That is good news. 10,000 vehicles?
At least.
All right. Well, if we're doing it, everyone else in the country can too. For much more on all of these stories and the ones we couldn't get to today, check out our website at greennews.bradblog.com. Find, follow, and share us planet-wide on the Facebooks and the Twitters at Green News Report. I'm Brad Friedman.
And I'm Desi Doyen.
And this has been your Green News Report.
Jared Kushner. Oh my God. Where do I even begin? I don't know. Jared Kushner is perhaps the dumbest person to try and go to Wall Street. And yet somehow he has been given everything but a crack fight. And I agree with you, Jim. We can't reason with people who don't reason anymore. So we fight like them. Jared Kushner is so dumb. This is what they said. And this is the Daily Mail, by the way. the Daily freaking Mail. They found Kushner's annuity fund to be unsatisfactory in all respects. The panel also expressed serious reservations about Kushner's limited areas of expertise and lack of investors domestically. Despite that, the Public Investment Fund approved $2 billion days after business experts raised concerns in the June 30th meeting. Munchin got less money, and his experience in the investment field is actually something. So, it goes back to the question that we asked at the end of the last hour. What did they buy for $2 billion? It can't just be because MBS got a pass with Kamal Soji. It can't just be that. What kind of access did the Saudi prince buy for $2 billion? Somebody needs to explain it to me. Somebody needs to tell me how it is that these nincompoops are able, like Munchkin, I don't know, Munchkin I call him. We're gonna go with Munchkin. It is Munchin. Munchin. That's it. Munchin. I call him Munchkin. But Steve Munchin, he knew what he was doing, and he got less money. So it goes back to the question. I'm just asking a question. What did they buy? Why are we not calling for open investigations into Donald Trump, financial wheeling and dealing, and ties to Jared Kushner and access? Why are we not, Democrats, calling for lock him up? Jim thinks it's a down payment than a reward, and that very well could be. You gotta butter that bread before you eat it. And there are real concerns here. So there are no laptops with crack pipes and, I don't know, naked pics like you're on OnlyFans. So there's none of that. You can still make this lead. And if the corporate media was truly liberal, I wouldn't have only seen one clip about it from Lawrence O'Donnell. I would have seen this on every network. Every network would have had coverage of this. It would have been everywhere. It's really that simple. It's really not that hard to get there from here. We need investigations. We need the Department of Justice to open a independent counsel. We need a Democrat to call for it. for Joe Biden's Justice Department to go after Jared Kushner, to go after Donald Trump, to go after the malfeasance in the Republican Party. We need this. And not because of political theatrics, not because of a witch hunt, although that's what they'll call it. We need an investigation to save our democracy. We need an investigation of Jared Kushner's ties to the Saudi royal prince, MSB, to save what is left of our democracy. It's really that simple. It's not enough that they get away with this. It's not enough. We have to go in. We have to go in and we have to get them. It's high time that we, as the Democratic Party, stop giving Donald Trump and his crime family a pass. We continually give them a pass, and then, oh, Joe Biden, he's wandering again. Somebody get Joe Biden, he's wandering again. And then the Republicans run word shot over us? No. We need an investigation, a real investigation, not this toothless January 6th committee investigation. We need the power of Congress to come down hard on these people. We need goddamn McCarthy-style investigations. It's not enough anymore to just say, if we're going to do this, let's let the wheels of justice turn. Well, where is Merrick Garland? Where is he? Is the question I want to know. Is he hiding under the desk from Donald Trump's speed tape? What is he doing? I thought he was going to be the next great thing, but he's just either keeping his cards to his vest or not doing a damn thing. The jury's out. And what I want to do, and I'm quite serious about this, is I want to investigate the hell out of him. Tit for tat. We have to go after these people. Just in the extreme way they go after us. But the difference between what we're doing and what they're doing is they actually did wrong. See, the difference is Jared Kushner is unqualified to run an annuity. He's about as qualified to run an annuity as I am. I am not qualified to run an annuity, neither is Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner should not be running an annuity. So why is it a Saudi prince and his benefactors hand him $2 billion? Is it hush money? Is it hush money? Is it a protection racket? What is going on here? What's the deal? I get a little excited to have a little more wardrobe malfunction. Always fun. Yes. What's the deal here? Maybe a little more adhesive. Jokes. I got jokes. I got frustration. I got wicked frustration because, oh my God, if we can go after, look, I got the receipts. I always bring them to the table. I got the receipts. Do, 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 do. Here, Chuck Grassley. Is Joe Biden compromised?
Do you have evidence, Senator, that would lead you to believe that Joe is potentially compromised by the Chinese?
I only have enough evidence that that's a legitimate question. I do not have evidence that goes as far as you'd like to have me say it go, or if I could say it, I would say it.
So no, you don't have shit, Chuck Grassley. Chuck, can you say Crackpipe Hunter has compromised Joe Biden? No, I got nothing. Comes out and says it. I got nothing. All I can do is say, is there a question here? Well, in that same, I'm going to score a 3-pointer, even though I'm dribbling the ball and falling over myself. Vein. We're going to go with Jared Kushner. We'll be right back.
I'm Rick Smith, and this is Labor History in 2. On this day in labor history, the year was 1873. That was the day the single most deadly incident of the Reconstruction era occurred, known as the Colfax Massacre. As many as 150 black Republicans in Colfax, Louisiana, were slaughtered by white supremacists determined to destroy advances made by the formerly enslaved. Results of the 1872 gubernatorial election in Louisiana had been hotly contested. President Ulysses S. Grant ordered federal troops in to support the Republican winner, William Pitt Kellogg. A number of black radical Republicans had also won or retained local and state political positions. William Ward, a black Civil War veteran and militia leader, had won a seat in the state legislature. By the beginning of April, he and others were being threatened with attacks on the Grant Parish Courthouse in Colfax and lynchings by defeated white Southern Democrats. Desperate for backup, Ward and others left for New Orleans to appeal for federal reinforcement. On the holy Easter Sunday, ex-Confederates, Klansmen, and Democrats rode into Colfax armed with guns, rifles, knives, and a cannon. 150 black Republicans were ready to defend their courthouse. Fighting raged on for hours, but eventually black Republicans were forced to retreat and then were massacred. 97 whites were indicted on federal conspiracy charges under the 1870 Enforcement Act, designed to enforce civil rights and root out Klan terror. The case went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court and resulted in the ruling United States versus Cruikshank, which essentially gutted the Enforcement Act. Of the 97 indicted, 9 were tried and 3 were initially found guilty. The Cruikshank ruling eventually overturned their convictions and effectively marked the legal end of Reconstruction. Like what you hear? Check out more at laborhistoryin2.com.
Wardrobe malfunction. It's only natural. This is day 1 of the new fit, and it is what it is. We fixed it. That's what brakes are for. Nobody look. Look. I don't lie to you guys. I'm not like Jared Kushner. Give me $2 billion. I'll do you some work. You know, that's not my style. Something happens, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be upfront with you. That's the only way we can have a down payment on trust. you're going to trust me more if I am honest with you about what is going on in my life. I cannot gain your trust if I don't tell you everything or I don't tell you what's going on with me. You see? So I have to be honest with you. I'm trying to deal with a new situation, and I think I'm doing pretty good with it. And overall, it happens. But it goes back to Jared Kushner, if you will. Yes, I will. It's my damn show. Jared Kushner has no legitimate function at an annuity firm except to whisper in Donald Trump's ear. That's it. His only function is to whisper sweet nothings into Donald Trump's ear. He has no other thing that he can do that will justify the amount of money that he is getting. There's nothing you can do. Right? There's nothing that can say, okay, you're worth $2 billion. Unless it's like what Jim is talking about. This is a down payment. Because look, if we're going to play, they're the same. Like some reactionaries want to do on our side. Okay. Let's do that. The Democratic Party will go after the malcontents in the Republican Party. We're not going to sit idly by and allow the just straight up fraudulent behavior to happen. See, when fraud happens in the Democratic Party, like it just did in New York State, with the lieutenant governor, I don't have his name in front of me, I'm sorry. But when fraud happens in New York State, they get arrested and they go to jail. Now, there has to be an investigation for that to happen. I'm calling for it. More Democrat pundits need to call for it. It should be every day. Where's the investigation of Jared Kushner and the funny money? $2 billion. What? I mean, Jesus. What does $2 billion buy you? I wonder. What does it buy you for Jared? What did it buy? Lots of caviar and fancy shoes. Oh my God, I just can't stand the fact that we got to sit here and watch Republicans. Look, here it is again. I'll play it again. This is the Republicans going nonsensical, batshit crazy about a laptop.
Do you have evidence, Senator, that would lead you to believe that Joe is potentially compromised by the Chinese?
I only have enough evidence that that's a legitimate question. I do not have evidence that goes as far as you'd like to have me say it go, or if I could say it, I would say it.
So you got nothing. There's no there, but they're investigating anyway. They're going after him. Because that's what Republicans do. I'm saying, even out the playing field. For the love of God, we need to really go after the Trump crime family for what and who they are. The world needs to see so they can be stopped. The world needs to be able to stop them and really take into account what they have done. And the only way we're going to do that is investigate. Call it a witch hunt. Okay, call it a witch hunt. We're gonna witch hunt your ass. We're gonna invest our time and energy going after Donald J. Trump to ensure he is never president of the United States again. They're gonna call it what they're gonna call it anyway. So why not, dare I say, cut him off at the pass? No break this time. Listening to the Nosey with me, Tom Reynolds. By the way, I don't think I ever did that. I'm Tom Reynolds. Hi. How are you? I didn't introduce myself. Bad host. Jim, fire me later, will you? I mean, Jesus Christ. This is the second time I've had a wardrobe malfunction. This is a little minor one. This is awful on my part. I'm not union, so Jim, if you want to ask me, ask me. So there's that. I'm fired. So there's that. I just oh Jesus. I'm trying real hard here. Like, I want to win. And I'm trying to I don't think we win by being nice about it anymore. We need to take our balls out of our pocketbooks and wear them. We need to wear our balls. The Republicans walk around as if they have balls, but still need a gun to back it up. We have the truth, and we have policy, and we have all these great things on our side. If people like Joe Manchin would just get out of the way, and let us really govern, we wouldn't need to play dirty because we'd win. But since Joe Manchin wants bipartisanship so bad, and he wants clickbait, and he wants blah, 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 okay, investigate the Trump crime family. Senate hearings. We control the Senate. House hearings. We control the House. Day and night. MSNBC would eat this shit up. Rachel Maddow's ratings when non-Rachel Maddow hosts are on would go through the roof. I'm telling you. We need to go after these people. And it's not just because Tom Reynolds is petty. It's because they do wrong. And when you do wrong, You have to be called out for it. And it doesn't matter at this point. Doesn't matter at this point if we have, I don't know, let's see, the truth on our side, because we have the facts. And the facts always trump the truth anyway. The truth you can distort, and you can get different perspectives on. The truth you can change around. When you have facts on your side, a report indicated that Jared Kushner is no more qualified to run an annuity than I am. Maybe he shouldn't get $2 billion from MSV. Solomon, or whatever the hell the prince's name is. It doesn't really matter. He's a dick. If they're immune to facts and reason, then how do we avoid violence? We don't. It's gonna come inevitably. Yeah. I hate to say it. I don't want it to. I don't want violence. I don't want a civil war. I'm not one of these right wingers who's like, civil war. Let's remake the country. Bring it back. No, I'm not. Don't misunderstand. For a minute, I'm a peacenik. That being said, these people are the violent ones. So if you are taking up arms to defend yourself and defend your family, you are the righteous one. If you're just going about your business and somebody walks into a subway and you can stop them, by all means, stop them. But if you can't, do everything you can to protect yourself and your loved ones. It's not hard. I need some skin exfoliation or something. Oh my god. My skin is driving me nuts today. Side note. It's distracting as fuck. It really is. And I gotta learn to stop swearing because I want this show to get covered on other stations, and it's never gonna happen if Tom just fuck into the wilderness. So there's that. Investigate Jared. Good? Yeah, I think we're good. We're good. Let's go to let's see. Let's go to this audio clip. These are fun. I don't have the original. The original was before the interview on Fox News, where Greg Abbott, governor of Texas, you know what I'm gonna do? What, Greg? What are you gonna do? Well, I'm gonna send all these illegals to Washington so Joe Biden can take care of them. Oh, you're going to? Is that how we're gonna play it out? Yeah. I'd have no power to do this, but it doesn't matter. I'm a Republican. I could talk out of my ass. So I'm just gonna say it, and then I'm gonna do it. And then everybody in the media gives him 15 minutes. And where is the Democratic pushback? Crickets. This is how you lose a governor race. This is how you lose. Texas. This is how Greg Abbott gets another term in office. What the hell's his name? I can't remember the guy's name running in Texas. See, I can't even remember. I want to defend him and give him. I can't remember. This is how shit a politician he is. And he's supposed to be the messiah for the Republicans. Government in Texas. Running in Texas. Let's see. It is bear with me. Beto O'Rourke. So Beto O'Rourke should be all over the media. Like a pissing puppy on the newspaper. He should be all over the media. Greg Abbott can't do this. Greg Abbott is a racist. Greg Abbott doesn't understand the rule of law. Greg Abbott is a bad leader. This is criminal. This is not how you run the state of Texas. And this isn't how you run a barn. This yada yada yada. I should see Greg Abbott everywhere. Or I'm sorry, Beto O'Rourke. See how I do that? I can't even remember the guy's name. That's how awful a politician he is. He should be everywhere. I should, tip of my tongue, Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke in protection and protector of the immigrant population. Of the big racist lie of the, what is it? The recycling or whatever they call it. Jim, help me out here in the chat. What do they call the not the recovery? I'm thinking of everything else but the damn lie. The retraction? No, that's not it. See, everything else is popping in my head except what they call the immigration nonsense. That the reckoning, no. Infrastructure is not it. They call the Tara talked about this last night. Where the replacement, where they're gonna replace the replacement theory. Yes, Wildfur, I'm a libtard. Yes, I am. True and true. The Republicans talk about the replacement theory, where the Democrats are bringing in all these illegal aliens to replace white folk. And the replacement theory goes that we got to do something about it. Like the big man Wilfer in this Twitch screen. You got to do something about the immigration problem. And so, what do? We call names and we deport them to D.C. That's all we got. We don't actually have a plan. Oh, border wall. We don't have a plan. But the protector of immigrants should be Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke should be saying, I want you here. Greg Abbott is a moron. Greg Abbott doesn't know how to lead. Greg Abbott is an idiot. Greg Abbott is wrong. Greg Abbott is, just full of it. Well, that's good. While you do believe that the Great Replacement is a bunch of BS, because if you actually believe in the Great Replacement, you're a racist. So at least you're not a racist, Wolfer. I'll give you credit for that. That being said, the Greg Abbotts of the world have commandeered Fox News, and they're friends to say shit like this. This is Greg Abbott. Where is it? Here we go.
Joe Biden has refused to come to the border to see the chaos that he has created by his open border policies. So we're going to take the border to him by transporting the people that he is dropping off in these local communities in the state of Texas and sending them to Washington by plane or by bus. What's happening is there's an increased number of people coming across the border that the federal government, are processing and then letting loose. And what has been happening so far is those people will be getting on buses and going to San Antonio or Houston or other places like that. And so I think they just need longer bus rides.
Yeah, longer bus rides. That's the salvation. That's the answer. Longer bus rides. Let's give the problem to DC. They can deal with it. Really? Really? So, he's mad. Let's unpack. Let's unpack. Greg Abbott is mad that Joe Biden has not come to the border. What would make him not make it a campaign stunt for Joe Biden to do? He doesn't like Joe Biden's border policy. He doesn't like Joe Biden's immigration policy. He doesn't like anything that Joe Biden would actually do. And Joe Biden doesn't believe in the Great Replacement, which Greg Abbott is dog whistling in that video. They're sending them every which way. We don't know where they are. Well, in fact, the government is monitoring them and making sure they appear for court dates. And it's not just, I don't know, you're a brown person. There are Ukrainians there too that are trying to cross the border. Greg. I mean, get real, dude. So here we have a great big mess. And we have Greg Abbott and his sycophant sheriff who's like, yeah, I totally agree. We need to do this. And what's his face? To his credit, I think it's Neil Cavuto. But I could be wrong. I'll know it when I see it on the TV. But the Fox News host is like, well, let's see. I'm not so sure that's legal. Because even Jen Psaki in our press briefing was like, Greg Abbott can't do it. It's not legal to do. He doesn't have the authority to do it as governor. Immigration policy is... wow. Awesome that you're from the UK. I am actually dual citizen. Side note. By the way, I'm from the UK, so I can see how some Americans are extraordinarily stupid. You are being kind, Weil. And I'm glad you're not a troll. Twitch, you never know. You never know if you're a troll or not on Twitch. But I'm glad to see you're not a troll. Welcome to the show. It is criminal to assert that you are just going to take these people without authority and bust them off the GC and willy-nilly just drop them anywhere. How inhumane is that? I had visions of the Third Reich. I literally did. I had visions of the Third Reich. I was thinking, Tom Reynolds, Nosey liberal? Yes, Tom. Okay. What are you thinking? I'm thinking Hitler. Hitler liked to cart people on trains. Greg Abbott wants to step it up and cart people on planes. Okay, that doesn't sound creepy at all. That doesn't sound... I mean, talk about the great theories of all things. For Pete's sake. So there's that. But here's the other video with his sycophant sheriff, whose name I cannot pronounce to save my life. I have tried, and I don't want to get it wrong. But here is the sheriff talking about Greg Abbott being right and Joe Biden being wrong.
So, a lot has been, debated back and forth with the administration now saying that it's illegal what the governor wants to do, that is Governor Abbott, to take busloads of those taken and apprehended at the border and send them to Washington, D.C. But is it any different than taking them to a processing center or, a high school, what have you, in Texas? Is there any difference?
Well, first of all, Texas Governor Abbott has been instrumental to securing the border and trying to secure the border right now. If there wasn't for Governor Abbott and him sending the Texas National Guard to the border, we would be completely destroyed in the U.S. Border Patrol. As far as his plans to send people to illegal aliens to Washington, D.C., hey, you know what? Send them. Maybe that'll send a message to the American people. Maybe that'll send a message to the Biden administration. At this point, desperate measures calls for desperate times calls for desperate measures.
Hector, how?
So Hector Garcia, sheriff's name, which I confused with somebody else, is saying desperate times call for desperate measures. I cut him off because I can't stand this stupid. It's really degrading. It's quite extraordinary that people are this dumb. That people will be like, yeah, DC, and Neil Cavuto. What kind of question is that, by the way? What kind of question? Oh, well, look, it's the same as sending them to a no, it's like 2,500 miles difference. Or 1,800 miles difference. Math is hard. 2 hours to 2 days difference. It is not the same sending them to the Capitol. Oh my God. And yes, Lyle is actually right. They want to appeal to the base. But the problem that we have in this country is we don't have enough shows like mine who appeal to our base. And that's what I'm trying to do. You could call me a libtard. You could call me faggot. You could call me whatever you want to call me. Doesn't matter. But I am appealing or trying to appeal to my base to say that what Beto O'Rourke should be doing is be countermining this narrative and saying at the border, he should hold a press conference at the border and say, Governor Abbott, it is not your job to send these people to the Capitol. You are being disingenuous. You are being despicable. And you are being a racist. There, I said it. Beto O'Rourke wants to win Texas. He could say, let's fix the border together, but not in this stupid way. He needs to literally point out, Greg Abbott needs to literally point out how stupid this idea is. Or I'm sorry, Beto O'Rourke. I don't know why I cannot get his name. Maybe because he's a shit candidate. Maybe because Beto O'Rourke is such a bad candidate, I cannot remember his name. And it's not even and wow, it's not even conservative. They are corporate. Like in the country, we have two sets of broadcasters. We have corporatists, the CNN and MSNBC, and your Rachel Maddow, your Lawrence O'Donnell, your Brian Williams, your Anderson Cooper, your Lester Holt, your Katie Couric, Those are your corporatists. They are in it for the money. Okay, they are corporate whores, and they are what Alex Jones lovingly calls them elitists. Call as I see it. On the right, you have two sets. You have the Rush Limbaughs, Sean Hannity, and Tucker Carlson, and then you have the absolute batshit crazy Stu Peters, Pastor Manning, Alex Jones. I mean, and you got a plethora of them. You have OAN, The Wire. You got Ben Shapiro. You can. Oh my God! If you want to find, no, they have their own personal. Will, may I call you Will? I'll be quite straight with you. The ones on the right have personal profit. That is why they do it. They are literally out there to gain a monetary cash income flow. They don't care about inflation or Joe Biden, whether or not. Here, let on Fox News this clip playing all over the place last week. Here it is. Joe Biden, the great mastermind, he's senile. Call out the 25th Amendment. Blah, 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 blah. Tucker Carlson is heir to the Swanson microwave dinner franchise, if I'm getting it correctly. But there, well, unless you're on the internet like I am, or like TYT is, there is no left-wing media. Left-wing media was shut out. Phil Donahue was left-wing media. And you know what they did to Phil Donahue when he was on MSNBC? They took him off the air because he was against the Iraq War. MSNBC, the libtard bastion of Rachel Maddow. They took him off the air. You're not maybe in England where you're at in the UK, you have some good liberal hosts. Great for you. I'm telling you right now, you will not find anyone except one, and he's dead. Ed Schultz was on the TV. And Ed Schultz is dead because he died a couple of years ago. Was on MSNBC. And they did everything they can to silence him, short of canceling his show. I know because I know the producer through Twitter. Twitter is a beautiful thing. So it's like, I would rather have, and I'm going to go back to stories, but I do love the conversation. I would rather have someone who is impartial and truthful than a scripted liar for the corporatocracy. Like, I would rather listen to Alex Jones all day long than Rachel Maddow. The reason being, I don't trust Rachel Maddow. I trust Alex Jones to give me the direct bullshit. So there's that. And I don't know why somebody's calling me. We're gonna shut that off. And the I don't know why anybody's calling me right now. But I love it when people like think I'm gonna just answer them when you say, "Hey, answer me." Rude. Yes, very rude. So there's that. Blocked. See, the internet is a beautiful thing because people forget that you can like block people on uh on Skype. You can just say, you know what, I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm gonna ignore you. I'm gonna block you. People forget that you can do that. And I forgot I had it up, so that's my fault. We're gonna take that down. Yay! There we go. Little distraction. During this show, but we're coming up to a break anyway. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna do some more stories. And we'll go from there. I got some more video. Needless to say, there is no difference between the left and the right in American media on TV. There is a difference on social media. And that's why you find shows like me, The Young Turks, Ron Placone, Tara Devlin, Robin Kincaid, even Jimmy Dore when he's not batshit crazy. You can find some good things out there on the YouTubes or the Twitch. You're not going to find it on mainstream TV provided by your cable network. They just don't, they won't allow it. They won't allow it. It's really that simple. We're going to come up to a break. Nosey Liberal, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. And last and final hour. We'll be right back.
I'm Rick Smith, and this is Labor History in 2. On this day in labor history, the year was 1873. That was the day the single most deadly incident of the Reconstruction era occurred, known as the Colfax Massacre. As many as 150 black Republicans in Colfax, Louisiana, were slaughtered by white supremacists determined to destroy advances made by the formerly enslaved. Results of the 1872 gubernatorial election in Louisiana had been hotly contested. President Ulysses S. Grant ordered federal troops in to support the Republican winner, William Pitt Kellogg. A number of black radical Republicans had also won or retained local and state political positions. William Ward, a black Civil War veteran and militia leader, had won a seat in the state legislature. By the beginning of April, he and others were being threatened with attacks on the Grant Parish Courthouse in Colfax and lynchings by defeated white Southern Democrats. Desperate for backup, Ward and others left for New Orleans to appeal for federal reinforcement. On the holy Easter Sunday, ex-Confederates, Klansmen, and Democrats rode into Colfax armed with guns, rifles, knives, and a cannon. 150 black Republicans were ready to defend their courthouse. Fighting raged on for hours, but eventually black Republicans were forced to retreat and then were massacred. 97 whites were indicted on federal conspiracy charges under the 1870 Enforcement Act, designed to enforce civil rights and root out Klan terror. The case went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court and resulted in the ruling United States versus Cruikshank, which essentially gutted the Enforcement Act. Of the 97 indicted, 9 were tried and 3 were initially found guilty. The Cruikshank ruling eventually overturned their convictions and effectively marked the legal end of Reconstruction. Like what you hear? Check out more at laborhistoryin2.com.
I'm Dr. Anthony Lizowitz, and this is Climate Connections. In recent years, large wildfires have raged across the West, filling the air with smoke. But dangerous smoky air can also cause problems for people who live east of the Rockies. Every year, thousands of smaller fires burn in eastern states.
Smoke from those large western wildfires can also be transported to the east as well.
That's Caitlin Odell. As a graduate student at Colorado State University, she analyzed 13 years of air quality data, satellite images of smoke plumes, and records of asthma-related hospital visits. She found that the danger is most severe for residents who live in the West. But because so many people live in eastern states, the total number of smoke-related hospital visits there was actually larger. Odell says her study is an important reminder that harmful smoke particles can pollute the air people breathe, even in regions where wildfires are not a top-of-mind concern.
Especially when smoke is transported from far away, it might not even look smoky and it might not smell like smoke. And so your eyes and your nose are not necessarily the best indicator of smoke.
So she says it's important for everyone to keep an eye on local air quality warnings and for vulnerable people to take precautions on days when smoke is in the air. Climate Connections is produced by the Yale Center for Environmental Communication. To hear more stories like this, visit climateconnections.org.
I was just checking the Dredge report, see if there's any new news. Yes, I checked the Dredge report. I'm a weirdo. Let's see. Nothing new to speak of. What a shame about Gilbert Gottfried, though. What a damn shame. Apparently, this is new. Speaking of, this happened. A bus carrying migrants has been. I'm just reading the story, and it's quite amazing. Carrying migrants arrived in D.C. on Wednesday morning. He did it. His crazy ass did it. He Greg Abbott, governor of Texas, sent, breaking news, migrants to the nation's capital. This is the most racist thing. I'm astonished that this is the thing. This is should be something for Beto O'Rourke to run on. And like Jim says, counting on the Democrats to do the right thing is crazy talk, but you got to try anyway. Beto said for his part last week, if Abbott is focused on solutions instead of stunts, then Texas could have made some real progress on issues over the last 7 years. Well, yeah, Captain Obvious. Hit him harder, Beto. This is more than a stunt. This happened. They're literally being like Nazis. I don't know how else to say it. In real time, this is happening. The Republicans are being like Nazis. All you need now is the gas chamber. We don't want anything to do with these people. You created a problem. You deal with it. That's what Greg Abbott is saying. That right there is what Greg Abbott is saying. We don't want anything to deal with it. The Nazis. I was trying to like wrap my head around what Tara was saying last night about the Republicans and trying to say no, they can't be Nazis. No, they can't. We just need ovens and camps at this point. If Greg Abbott could, he'd put all the migrants into a camp and say, "Here's your solution, everybody. Here you go." Oh my God, I can't. Like, I'm a radio talk show host, and I am at a loss for words. I do not have the words that can effectually articulate what amount of anger and what amount of deep frustration that I am feeling right now. Jim on the defense a little bit. This is interesting. Jim saying they may not be Nazis per se, but they're authoritarian, bigoted fascists. So, because they don't have the extermination camps yet, they're not Nazis? Is that what we're saying? They're already busing them. They're busing them to D.C. We don't like who you're giving us. Adios with you. Hasta la vista. Get the fuck out of here. Really? Yeah, Greg Abbott is only lacking the SS uniform. I don't. This is literally in real time. Supply line problems. The SS uniform is made in China. Oh, Lord Jesus. Made by a bunch of brown people. Oh, God. I haven't smiled like that in a long time. This is happening in real time, folks. The Republican Party in Texas has shipped off migrants who just want freedom. They want the American dream. We're not racist. Yes, the fuck you are. These people want freedom. They want the American dream. And you're happy to say, DC, your problem. What? Are you daft? What the hell? This is crazy. I didn't even realize he sent a bus. I honestly didn't. This is just. I wish there was a way, just out of spite, to give each and one, like every migrant, like Joe Biden should just this is the perfect answer to Texas. You enact and I'm stealing this from the I'm stealing this from House of Cards, but this is the perfect idea to solve the Texas border crisis right now, with Greg Abbott being a nincompoop. You turn the National Mall into an immigration center. You activate FEMA and declare Washington, D.C. an emergency disaster zone. And you pump all the money from FEMA into, again, not my idea, this is from House of Cards. You pump all the money from FEMA into the Immigration and Naturalization Service for judges to sit at the mall and immediately process every person with naturalization citizenship. You immediately process them on the Washington Mall. You turn the Washington Mall into a mini Ellis Island. Okay, Greg Abbott, you want to be replaced, motherfucker? I will replace your ass. Because these people who have done nothing wrong, not a damn thing wrong, but show up at your doorstep, have done not a damn thing wrong, but show up at your doorstep, do not deserve to be treated as if they are persona non grata. They deserve to be treated as human beings, not cattle. Greg Abbott is treating these people like cattle. Greg Abbott is a damn Nazi. And I could say a lot more nastier things about Greg Abbott, but I'm going to contain my anger because I'm not going to turn into Greg Abbott. I'm not going to be him. Greg Abbott is a Nazi. It's real simple. And anybody who is with Greg Abbott is a collaborator with a Nazi. It's real simple. It's real exact. All they need now is the extermination camps. All they need now is the extermination camps. Ship them off to DC. Okay, well, you know what? We're going to open an immigration center right on the Washington Mall, and we're going to give each and every one of these people naturalization papers into this country. We're going to replace your ass. You think we're going to replace your ass? You know what? We're going to replace your ass. And then they have the right to vote, Greg Abbott. And I hope they decide to settle in Texas, because they're going to come after you and your wheelchair ass. I am so sick of this. I am tired of this. We don't need to wait for 2022 to happen. The country is down the tubes. See, the problem with that, Jim, is there are other Greg Abbotts willing to take their place. Ready and willing in Texasistan. Texasistan is full of miniature mini-me Greg Abbott. Full of them. Just like he's full of it. That's the problem. These people are nothing but Nazis. These people do not understand how to treat other people. These people do not understand anything about government or governing or the process to govern. It's pathetic. And it's high time we did something about it. And it could be only my hope that McConnell warning of unacceptable GOP candidates spoiling it for everybody. It could be my hope. So there's that. We got a break in about 2 minutes, which is good. Excuse me. I've been cutting down on soda mainly because I don't have any, and drinking in between breaks Sunny Delight, and it makes me burp. Quite disgusting. Quite annoying. But it is what it is. So hopefully that'll stop soon. And I don't know why I'm saying so much today. I need to stop. It really needs to go away. The whole thing is really annoying. So hopefully we can make that stop. Is not much better. So there's that. So now I'm self-conscious about it. I opened the door and walked right through it, and it is what it is. It's just gonna be how it is. I'm just frustrated. I don't know about you, but I need a break. We'll be right back after this. Stick with us. Hope you do. We'll be right back.
I'm Dr. Anthony Lazowitz, and this is Climate Connections. Jane McCurry grew up in Detroit, the Motor City.
My parents worked for the auto industry. They both worked for Ford. The auto industry is the lifeblood of a lot of the people there.
But the industry is changing.
Electrification is happening. The industry is moving really quickly toward cleaner vehicles.
McCurry is executive director of Clean Fuels Michigan. The nonprofit is advocating that the state invest in the transition to electric vehicles, so Michigan and its workforce are not left behind. She says that financial incentives can help entice companies to locate EV and battery manufacturing facilities in the state. For example, General Motors recently announced it will invest $7 billion at 4 EV and battery production facilities in Michigan. The commitment came after state authorities developed a tax incentive package for the company worth more than $800 million. This investment is expected to create 4,000 new jobs.
And so having those incentives on the table is really important to make sure that Michigan is winning those jobs.
McCurry says investing in the EV industry will pay off for the state's workforce and help Michigan secure its role in the auto industry's future. Climate Connections is produced by the Yale Center for Environmental Communication. To hear more stories like this, visit climateconnections.org.
Nosey Liberal. My name is Tom Reynolds. We're live. We're here. We're queer. Get used to it. Yeah. So, I'm a little pissed off. I must say. It really sucks. It really does. That I am this mad. But everybody should be this mad at Greg Abbott. And Texas should do something about Greg Abbott. And I'm not saying use your First Amendment remedies. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying do something about Greg Abbott. Please, for the love of Christ, please do something. Oh, Lord Jesus. I feel like I need another break. I think what I will do is actually cut the show a little short today. And stop at 30 after. My back is killing me, frankly, and it's really annoying me. And so what I will do is cut the show a little early. But we'll be back at whatchamacallit, tomorrow, and we'll be here on Friday, and we'll just go from there. I just can't sit anymore, and it's frustrating the hell out of me. So it is what it is, and we'll just do it again tomorrow. So what I'm going to play for you through our Pacifica affiliate. Let's see here. Let's find a show, shall we? I love doing stuff live. It's always fun. So for our Pacifica affiliate, let's go with let's go with. Ooh, I like this. Making Contact, Unequal Justice, the Criminalization of Black Youth. So we will play that at our half hour mark for this show, because I'm feeling a little lazy and my back hurts, as I said. So we will do that then. But either way, a few minutes left to talk, and we'll go from there. I do have a couple other video clips I want to play for you that we'll get to. So don't quite go away yet. If you can stick around, and we will entertain you as soon as I fix this for the station. It's not letting me. Oh my. Oh me, oh my. I hate the internet. I really do. There are times where it's just like, are you freaking kidding me? And I'm not trying to open it up the file either. The computer is running and misbehaving. So maybe it's just time we call this show and deal with our issues and go from there. I will have something loaded for the other side momentarily. Thank you guys for sticking around. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll try for 3 hours full. My back is just not cooperating. My apologies, everybody. See you tomorrow. Have a great day. Jim, I guess you can fire me again. Bye for